Alright. So, dann fangen wir mal kurz auf Deutsch an. Schönen guten Morgen erstmal an alle Teilnehmer. Wir freuen uns, dass so zahlreich auch erschienen sind. Wir können es hier sehen von den Einladungen, die rausgegangen sind, dass das Thema so viele interessiert. Es ist bewusst auch ein bisschen provokant gehalten. Ja, vergesst mal Tekla. Wir zeigen euch mal, oder beziehungsweise mein Kollege Valensas zeigt euch heute Morgen mal, was eben im Bereich Revit Fertigteilplanung mit den entsprechenden Tools der AGACAD so geht. Can you show the next slide, please? Und viele von euch kennen mich. Jetzt seit kurzem auch der Bereichsleiter für Hochbau, bin bei der Contelos und auch direkter Ansprechpartner eben für unsere Tools gemeinsam mit den Kollegen. Vorführung wird, wie gesagt, mein Kollege Valensas machen aus Litauen. Wir sind beide Bauingenieure und kennen uns auch ein bisschen aus. Ich bin sehr gespannt, was er uns dann heute zeigen wird. Und eine Slide noch von mir. Just the next one, please. Auch das kennen viele. Also einmal, dass wir eine Kooperation haben, dass wir direkte Vertriebspartner sind für Deutschland, Österreich, Schweiz, die Contelos als solche. Die meisten werden sicherlich auch kennen den Blog, den wir auf Deutsch schreiben, Plus for Revit. Also für wen die Tools neu sind, der kann sich dort eben auch informieren. Wir haben einmal Produktübersichten, wir haben aber auch Dokumentationen. Also wenn man sich Testversionen runterlädt, das wird Valensas nachher noch zeigen, wo das geht und wie einfach das ist, dann könnt ihr euch auch dort schon mal informieren, was die Tools so können und wie geklickt werden kann. Natürlich stehen wir auch direkt als Ansprechpartner zur Verfügung und ja, im Prinzip in allen Bereichen schreibt einfach eine E-Mail oder ruft an. Wir freuen uns drauf. Und das war schon von mir. Ich wünsche euch viel Spaß die nächste Stunde mit Valensas und der Precast Suite. Valensas, it's your turn.
Okay, so I will switch to next slide and thank you for introduction, and we will see how really we can make efficient modeling of precast elements in Revit with our tools. So, okay, a few words about our company. That AGACAD is developer. We sell our products worldwide. We have more than 10,000 users already. So we keep developing our tools, and our promise to users is to reduce stress and eliminate unnecessary tasks and create effective ways to work with Revit. So in this presentation I will talk about precast concrete. I will talk about modeling of precast elements and how to model elements, how to insert details, how to sort elements, and how to create drawings. So for this I will use tools, different tools which are included in precast concrete suite. So we have smart walls to split walls and smart floors and floor panel layout to create hollow core slabs or just massive slabs. Then smart details to insert connections and cuts and any kind of details. Then sort automatically elements according to the size, type, or whatever parameters we have. And then smart assemblies to create drawings in the end. So again, you see here information what you will see, how to split walls, how to create hollow core slabs and prepare sharp drawings. So anyway, we will see this in live demo. So let's just switch to Revit. And okay, I need to maximize this one. No. So here you see already created project with walls divided into separate panels, then floors created, hollow core slabs created, then I have details inserted to different elements, right? So I have distributed automatically different kind of details, cuts, advance of the slab, at the sides of the slab, just phase-based details inserted in different ways. And then at the bottom I have all my assemblies, and what can we create is let's say this kind of automatic drawings, and it plays views on the sheet automatically and plays automatic dimensions. So let's see a few other examples and we'll get to action. So okay, I will close down this example project, and now let's see how to do that. So I will use now this project. It's not finally created, so let's start. First of all, I will go to level 1, and let's overview the smart walls solution. So the smart walls are split walls. Basically, this is the main feature I want to share with you, but also smart walls have a few other features, like if you will click on this command of smart walls. So you can see all the walls in your project. You can group them differently according to different parameters. You can add any information here in this window, and it's easier just to control information, to change data in these columns. You can also let's say disallow joints of selected walls. You can calculate elevations or write some additional information here or delete information. So in this window you can just manage the walls, and then another feature is to decompose walls. So if you have multi-layered wall, so you can just decompose it. And what does this mean? It means that you can create separate walls from this one wall. So you can create 2 walls or 3 walls. So in this case I have created 3 different walls. So you see now different types of walls created. So sometimes it's good when you want to separate architectural layers from structural layers. So you can use this functionality also. But today mainly I will talk about splitting of the walls. So we have this split wall menu, different commands how to split walls, and over here we can define some gaps, gap configuration by wall type. I will open this one just to show you that you can assign different gaps between walls. When you proceed with splitting command, these gaps will be applied in the splitting line. So I just have different gaps for different types of wall. So I have this wall in my project, so I will have 0 gap and 20 millimeters gap and so on. So I do this modification, and if I will use this, let's say, command shorten picked wall end, so with this command I can just separate my walls one from the other. Let's say I will select this end of the wall, so it was disconnected. Then I select this wall, and now you see I have 0 gap here, but I have 20 millimeters gap here because this is the setting for this type of wall. So I can do that in the desired position. I just can separate these walls from one another. So this is like one of the ways how to change your connections of walls. Let's say I'll click maybe like this. I will change it back to that. Okay, probably I would want to do it like this. Okay, so I separated some of the walls. Now I would like to show you splitting settings. So what can we change here? In the splitting settings, we can define what should be the distances from the openings. Then what should be the panel width, what should be the maximum panel width, or the minimal panel width. So according to these settings, our splitting commands will work. So here we have splitting in the particular places, few commands to do that. So let's say I have these fake grid lines, just draw these grid lines, and I can use them to split my walls. So first of all, maybe I want to, just to draw these splitting lines and then coordinate with, let's say, architects or other disciplines, or with a manager or whatever, the splitting location, and then I can use these grid lines to split. Let's say I will select split by selected grid lines, and then I select these grid lines one by one. Then I hit on escape key, and I select the walls which I want to split, and then escape again. And now you see I have these walls splitted in desired place. So this is one of the ways to split in an exact location. So probably I can also do that here. I want to split it here, here, and here. And I'll click escape, select wall, and click escape again. Okay, so now I have these walls. And let's say I don't need a special place for this area, so I can just split this one from the start, let's say with desired step. And you see now I have this wall with defined panel width. I have the splitting, and the last one will be shorter, but that's okay. That's what I wanted to achieve. So that's the way how to quickly split walls. Then also we can split by core. So I can select one wall, another wall, hit escape key, and I can split just in the middle. Let's say for this kind of connection I need the split in the middle, so actually I use just wall to split another wall. So that's another option. Then let's say I have also long wall, we can select, let's say, split by maximum spacing, right? So now my panel will be split it according to that rule. So and now I have limited just in the desired number of panels. The split was automatically produced. So that's the way how can we split walls in different ways, just using different commands and just controlling this. So this is the smart wall solution. So what can we do with it? And I will switch now to smart floors. So smart floor solution is to create hollow core slabs, and so for hollow core slabs we have two solutions: smart floors and floor panel layout. So smart floors works like this. I need to define boundary. Where do I want to place my hollow core slabs? And then create them. So for this I will use command insert update floors. Now I will give the name of a group, and now I will define the boundary. Where do I want to create my floors? So start for support, I can select wall, or I can select beam, or it could be, okay, wall here, and layout and could be grid line or reference plane. So when I do that, I just need to assign the parameter which will be used to calculate and write parameters to the floor, or I can just create another shared parameter over here. So this parameter will be used, let's say, to write the length parameter. Then I need to choose the floor type which I want to use. I need to select the openings which I want to use. So these holes are installed with a solution, with the smart floors, but you can modify the shape later. Okay, and here I have information what will be inserted, like 10 panels with desired width, and then the level where it will be inserted. And I will do this now. I will just insert these, right? So I will close down this window, and now I have this floor, and additionally I have generic model family of the holes inserted. So if I take a look to 3D view, you see now I have holes, and I have floor panel, selected type of floor panels. How these holes could be modified anytime. I can just select them, edit family, and save it under different name, and let's say edit profile, and just draw this profile with desired lines, right? So it could be like, I don't know, the holes could be shorter, just to define the narrow slabs or whatever. So just prepare them according to your local manufacturer and use it to create hollow core slabs. So okay, now what's important in this tool is that we can modify these groups. We can, let's say, extend these floors. Okay, yeah, because now I need to support them on the beam, so I will extend them. Okay, update. So you see now it was extended, and maybe one more thing I want to show you. Let's say you can also change the position. You can change the the layout boundary objects. Let's say I will select this one, and I will click on update. So now I have two slabs of this width, and then I have cast in place element because it cannot be created with 1.2 meter slab. And all of my slabs, they have these parameters, as I showed you, like width parameter of 1.2 meter and this new created parameter to define the length, right? So this is the way you can work with these floors. And then you have additional options like select new support, so it will be updated, the floors will be updated when you can insert additionally floors. Let's say you can select the just floor and insert these holes additionally to the other elements. Then, yeah, different ways how to just update these floors. Then we have floor panel layout, and we have already created floor. So the floor panel layout, we can actually just split the existing floor, not create floors like with the smart floors, but just work with this one, with existing floor. So what I want to do here, I want to insert floors here and floors here. So for this, I need two regions. So I will add split line, and I will add the split line here. Okay, so now we see I have one region over here and one over here. And panel layout settings. In this full panel layout, I can also select similar settings to the smart walls about the splitting the width of the panels and the direction, where do I want to split them. And then I have these commands to create panel layout for floor face. I will select this one, and now I can select the side of the area. You see this blue area defines the where my floors will be created. So I will click on this area. Okay, so now I have splitting lines, not panels yet, but the lines for my floors. And I will do that again, and let's say I will click on this area, right? So now it's going to the different direction, but yeah, probably I will just undo that. I will go over the right direction. So when I hit on this side, I just have different layout direction. Then, okay, if I want to, I can modify these lines. Now, let's say I will join some regions. I will do this a couple of times, right? And let's say, what can I do? Let's say I can use just different commands. I can split it into half. I can split according to the rules. Let's say split by middle to both ends or whatever. Okay, so let's say I select this. I will select two of the lines. And now you will see I have 1.2 meter panels in the middle, and then leftovers are on the side. So it depends how do you want to do that. You do the planning, use these commands to update, modify, plan, and so on. Delete the regions if you need to. Or so there are other commands like how to control this. And after that, you can go to this create modify panel settings. Also overview, what do you want to create, just end and start, offset values, parameters for the width and length, and what can you, if you will insert, what kind of slab do you want to insert, if you want to insert holes, or what should be the cast in place, let's say, panel, save these configurations, and create panels, let's say for wall floor. So I will select this floor. And now you will see that I have these panels. Now in this area I have only, let me switch to this one maybe, view. So here I have just a floor without holes, because this is like cast in place floor, and I selected this kind of floor to use in this area. And for this one I selected to use this system floor family, and that's just how I create these floors on top of existing floor. So that's another way how to create slabs with holes or without holes. So it depends what do you want to create. Okay, and another solution I have is smart details. So when I have created my elements, now I want to insert some details, connect elements and so on. So let's say, what will I do now? Let's see how it works. I select the element and I click on Insert Details. And then I need to pick the configuration which I want to use here. So I will use this configuration, and I will click on Insert. And I will just go back to configurations later, but let's just see the result. Maybe I will switch to the transparent view so we can overview what was done with my command. So I have some line-based cuts on the side face of the wall. Then I have some connection details on top, just with defined rules. Then I have also side cuts, like form of this kind of form at the sides, and then I have distributed some connection details also on the side. And then also I have a cut to support my hollow core slabs here. So with one command, with one configuration, I just inserted a lot of these details, and I can actually do the same for other elements. I can just select as many as I want of the elements if I think that the same configuration could be applied to them. So I can do that, and let's say the result will look like this. So I have these cuts, I have these details, I have some details at the bottom of my walls and so on. So let's see other examples. How can we use smart details? But yeah, before that I will just go to configurations. Okay, I will select the detail and I will modify this detail, and we can see this configuration which I used. It has such a setup. On the left side in this configuration window you can see line-based details which can be inserted on different faces, and point-based details which can be inserted on different faces of selected element. And this could be walls, beams, columns, and other elements where you can insert the details. So let's say this detail cut was inserted on the right face, and it starts with offset from the ends, and it goes just from the beginning to the end. And in other direction, it has possibility to just distribute them according to a maximum spacing with defined distance. So you have all these possibility to define how to insert detail. Then on the side faces, I have one detail on one side. Then I have another detail inserted on the opposite side. I have some flipping options for the details. So there are different ways how to do that, how to insert these details. Let's say I have point-based details just distributed on both faces of my wall with defined distances and maximum spacing. On top I have this detail, at the bottom this detail. So there are really different ways how to do that. And then I also check if there is enough space to insert this detail. I have a maximum space of 1.2 meter, but if there is not enough, of minimal solid depth is not enough, so my detail is not inserted. So that's why I don't have it in this place in the middle, because I have a window here. Okay, so when we overviewed the configurations, let's see a bit more about smart details. I will select all of these. These are structural framing families, and I will auto-insert details, because auto-insert, it will just read the parameter smart detail configuration parameter in the element. So let's say in this element I have smart detail configuration parameter with this name of configuration. So details was inserted according to that configuration, and this framing element has this configuration. So I have only cuts at the ends. So you see now I have different elements inserted to all of these floors. Okay, these are structural framing element in this situation, but it depends on your settings. Okay, and what can we do now? Let's say I can select any of these details, select modify details, and I can just make changes to the individual element. Let's say I will just change the length of my cut, right? So I can do the update of this. So let's say one element could be changed, right? I can, of course, insert elements and just move details, add manual details, and work in many different ways, but it just at least makes it really quick to insert elements on different faces in the positions we need, or we can just adjust them later, but it will be much easier than doing just in plain Revit. Okay, another example, let's say I will select columns and framing elements, and I will do the same. I will auto insert elements, and we will take a look what result we can expect here. So I have like 46 elements here, and I insert a different kind of connections. Maybe I'll switch to 3D transparent view, and now you will see I have connection details in the beam. I have lifting elements inserted according to the gravity point. Let's see if I will modify this. We can also insert element according to gravity point. This detail is inserted at the end of the beam. Then I have details in the columns which are inserted in the intersection point with the beams. I have bolts at the top of a column and so on. So let's take a look to this detail a bit more and other features we will see. Let's say I have a column and I have a beam going like it's some kind of T connection, right? So it comes into the middle of the column. And in this situation, I have like L connection. So we can also find this kind of connections, difference between elements and connections. So let's say in L-type connection, I have this detail with only one anchoring rebar. And in T connection, I have this kind of detail, right? So in the setup of configuration, I'm looking for the T connection. Then I find the T connection, I insert this detail. So this configuration doesn't matter, it matters what are the settings here. And let's say for the L connection, I have just different family. So again, I can use this to find different connections between elements and define different details to insert. So this could be very useful. And the last feature of Smart Details, which I like very much, is that I can insert details and read values from the host element. So you see I have column shoes inserted at the bottom of the column, and the column sizes is different. So what I did is that if we'll take a look to column, it has parameter B and H, right? The column. So it's a host element. And now when I created this family, if we'll take a look to this family, when I created this family, I have used parameter with a hash H. So if we'll take a look, I create this parameter on the model properties, and I just give it the name, the same name as a column parameter, but I add the hash in the beginning. And then during the insert of details, my this family of column shoes was adjusted according to the host values. So that's why it adapts to the size of the element, right? So it has 400 and 500 as this column, and 400 by 400 for this column. So I don't need to manually adjust this. I can and I can use this in different situations. Let's say I have different width parameter for these framing elements. I have width of 1.5 meter, and this one is 1.2 meter, and this detail was also just changed the size of according to the host element. Then another example might be, let's say I can read also values. Sorry, the location of section is not in the right place. So let's say I can also insert this kind of details, right? But if the size of my beam is different, so you see that the distance, I modified the distance of insertion according to the size of the beam. So I can also read values from the connecting elements and also adjust the distance from the top of a column to the bottom of the beam. So this was done also automatically. So that's another way how to automate, you know, the process to insert and create details. So I think that's pretty cool. And then we have different just commands to update, modify details, right? Delete these details if you need to. But basically, that's what smart details, how can they help you to work in Revit in an efficient way. And the last, not the last, maybe I will show you sort mark solution. So this one allows to do the element numbering. So if I will click on element numbering, I can also renumber grids or rooms and spacing, but I choose element numbering, and I can choose from existing categories in the project. Let's say I will select columns this time, and I need to select where do I want to write the sorting value, let's say to the mark. And now I have default configuration of columns. So what can you do in this sort mark solution? You can group elements. Let's say in this area, all the elements with material with the same material for model behavior will be numbered in the same range, starting from 1, and then elements with the same structural usage will be numbered starting from 1. So we can group elements, numbering of elements, then we can add different parameters which will have influence on your numbering, right? So if the type name will be different, I will have different numbering value. Then we can add some additional parameters according to the, like a subnumbering. We can sort elements according to the, let's say, selected parameter. Then we can also add additional marks for the different this material, model behavior, and structural usage. Then in the end, we just define what kind of information will be written to this mark parameter. So I will have material model behavior, I will have structural usage, and I will have this sort just value. So let me just select this kind of configuration, right? So 22 elements were renumbered. I will have some duplicate mark values because the type of elements are the same and model behavior is the same. So let's say now I have it just mark values created and written to these elements. Let's say let's choose another option. Let's say I will select walls, mark, okay, and what do I want to do? Let's say I don't want to group in any way of the walls, but I want to number all of my walls with unique values, right? So I will choose parameter instance ID, and so it means that all the instance ID in the projects, they have unique value of ID. So it means that it will create different mark value for each of the wall. And I will add suffix here for the sort mark, and I will click on OK. So now 74 elements were renumbered automatically, and now all of my walls, they have just unique value for the mark. So you see, I have just a different value. Okay, so this is quick renumbering method. Yeah, the last solution, smart assemblies. So if I will switch to smart assemblies, again, let's try to create one of them. I will select column and I will just create assembly from it. So what I need to do is to select again configuration, which defines what should be created. Okay, I will open this one, and column formwork, I will choose the configuration and click on create. So we will see what will be created. So what Smart Assemblies will do, it will take the host element, it will take automatically all the details into the assembly, so you don't need to select details, select the host element and then create assembly. You just need to select the main element and create assembly for it. So now I have assembly created with all the details. Then I have views created and views are placed on the sheet. And how are they placed on the sheet? It depends on the sheet template. So I will get back to this now and let's see how can we achieve this. Okay, so for this I will just go to the configurations, shop drawing configurations, and let's see what can we what kind of configurations we create. So okay, in this window I can create as many views as I want for the assembly. So I will just add view. I can select the type of a view, so standard Revit assembly views, and also some flipped versions of the views. So this could be like view is looking to the opposite side automatically. So we can just select one of them, right? And then you can select view type. You can select the view template, which we want to apply to the view. Dimension rules. So dimension rules, also you can create them. And dimension rules are described here. These rules describes how the main element should be dimensioned, how holes should be dimensioned in the main elements, right? Then how hosted metal details should be dimensioned. So they can be dimensioned, let's say, at every point of a solid. It could be dimensioned to only total dimensions, or it could be dimensioned just in the model lines. So you can have model lines inside of family, and it will snap only to this model line. So you see this complex shape of the detail, but dimension line just goes to one point. That's because inside of this family I have a model line. Then we have dimension rules for the hosted concrete details, dimension rules for the different rebars, then dimension rule, okay, this is for the nodes. So you can select if dimension, or maybe you don't want to dimension holes. You can change the names of nodes which will be displayed, then parameters which will be displayed, and then just define where do you want to see these nodes about the, just the details or holes or dimensions of main element. So after you click create these dimension rules, you can just apply different dimension rules for different views. Then some options to insert gravity point, as you can see it in my element. Then some options to reverse wall from front and back views, which is important really when you work with walls. Yeah, then you can go to schedules, right? So you can, again, create any number of schedules, apply apply schedule templates. Actually, these are real schedules, which I used already in this project. This is not view templates, but schedule templates. So these schedules could be used as a template for the new created templates. Then you can count according to instance or a type of assembly, and at the end you can select the sheet template which you want to use to create the next elements in your project. So how the views will be placed on the sheet. So you can place your views on the sheet, and this sheet could be used as a sheet template. But why did I get views automatically placed on the sheet is that Smart Assembly has this possibility to have template project. And what does it mean? It means that you can actually have template project. So template project like this, right? I have template project. I have created different assemblies here. I have placed all the views on the sheet. And let's say in that case, I have used configuration like in this project, and I have used this sheet as a template. So that's why in that project I got automatically these views placed on the sheet, because like this, it's very similar size of the element and so on. So I can use the same configuration as in template project and just place these views on the sheet. So we can do that for different elements, right? So let's say, okay, let's select one of the elements. I need also mark value for the elements. I didn't remember these automatically, so I will just give any mark value, because mark value in Smart Assembly is used as a type name for the created assembly. So I can just select this assembly, create this, select the configuration which I want to use, and click on create. So again, Smart Assembly works with different categories of elements like generic line-based elements, framing elements, columns, and so on. So let's see what's the result. So again, views are placed on the sheet, just like in my template project. If I will switch back to template project again, maybe. Okay, in template project, I already had this configuration, and that's why in my new project I have the same really similar drawings created. And a few examples what could be created I can show you from this template project, right? So let's say double T slab was created like automatically drawings with details, locations when we have notes of the details, dimensions of the details, right? So this is something, what can we achieve? Let's say this kind of drawing, right? So we have dimensions for the details, for the cuts and schedules, and we can use this as a template. Stairs, the stair landing, right? So this kind of dimension. Then okay, this is I want to show you also the formwork and reinforcement. So let's say I have a wall and I can create actually two sheets. It's not necessary to create only one sheet. I can create few sheets. So in one sheet I have formwork drawing, and in another sheet I have reinforcement drawings. So again, some automatic dimensions for the for the rebar schedule. So that's just according to my configurations. Yes, so that's what I wanted to show you. Maybe I have also the column with reinforcement. So again, some reinforcement and views placed, more views placed on this sheet actually. Also beam with reinforcement, so it could be created like this. You can use it in different ways, right? And again, we have different options to update assembly, recalculate gravity point, auto create assembly. So again, I can have, you know, just a name of assembly and use auto create assemblies option. Then manage assemblies gives us option to select all the types, all the same type assemblies. If in my project, let's say I can show primary and secondary assemblies. So primary assembly has drawings actually, and these are just the copies, right? So these are secondary assemblies. Then we have edit, update, change configuration options. Yeah, and these are for configurations and template projects, so we can load information from template project. And another one, another thing which I want to point out about the smart assemblies is that, let's say, when you have in your project, let's just select a couple of columns. Okay, probably I will get back to this view and just add something like right here. So when you select a couple of elements in your project, let's say I select 3 columns, and when I create assemblies, it will not create one assembly like Revit would do, but it will create 3 assemblies for me. So that's the difference, that smart assemblies works with individual elements. It just don't create one assembly of selected elements, but it will create separate assemblies. So let's say I will create these columns now. So 1, 2, and the 3rd assembly will be created. Okay, and the 3rd assembly goes. So if I have assembly configuration name in the property, I can select also different assemblies and choose auto create option. But let's say now I have here these new assemblies created. Okay, so the numbering stays with my last configuration. So now I have 3 assemblies instead of 1 assembly, which would be done with Revit. Okay, so that's the difference, I think. And okay, I think that's what I wanted to show you here, and I hope you can, you know, stay on Revit and stay efficient while working with these solutions. And just a few words about our solutions, that we have more solutions like to work with families, work with project parameters in my project, with MEP elements. I showed smart details. We can have also automatic cuts in our elements according to pipes and ducts and so on. We have small tools to insert Excel information or just select elements, sort elements, place dimensions, and so on. So you can get the free trials of any of these tools. So for this you need to take this tool for BIM doc. So you can just go to the web page in a Contelos, and you can find it. You can download, go to the store in this tool and just fill this form and activate the tool. So you'll have 2 weeks of free trial. Okay, I think that's what I wanted to tell.
Okay, so dann auch nochmal von uns, von Contelos, vielen Dank. Thank you very much, Valensis, for showing us this really nice tools you have and which are very sophisticated. Wie gesagt, wenn Fragen sind, schreibt uns gerne oder ruft durch. Und wie gesagt, vielen Dank von unserer Seite auch und allen ein schönes Wochenende. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.